That's astonishing. It's absolutely world class. Drama from day one. This is the league we want to watch. Only football can make you feel like this.
They think it's all over. It is now.
What's up, guys? Welcome to It's Pronounced Football. We just watched the PSG Bayern Munich game, the final, which was, not as many goals as I wanted, but Bayern Munich won, so I'm happy about that. So we're just going to talk about the game, and give you our thoughts. But before we do that, I just want to give you a very important reminder. We are on YouTube. We are on Spotify. We're on iTunes. Give us a like or subscribe on there. Also, please review us. We want to get better. Let us know how bad we suck or how awesome we are, or if we're just bang average, because just be honest. Let us know. We want to get better. So
Constructive criticism is helpful.
Yes, constructive criticism
we live on that.
is very helpful. We would really appreciate that. So please let us know. So what do you guys think about the game? 1-0. I mean, I thought it was going to be 5-2. So I was...
Yeah, I think your prediction was 5-2. Mine was 4-2, and then you thought PSG would win.
Right? I thought PSG was going to win 3-2.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely wasn't as high scoring as we would have liked. There was times where PSG looked dangerous, but Bayern just dealt with it very well.
But they couldn't finish. They had so many chances to score, they couldn't finish. And at a certain point, it's like, what are you guys doing without a prolific striker? Like, you're playing Mbappe at the center, and I get it, you're playing false nine, but they really could have used a legit striker. They needed a target man.
What was Icardi doing on the bench? And then why did you bring out Choupo-Moting when Icardi's on the bench?
Oh my God.
So confusing.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, I thought the PSG was going to win. I thought that Bayern's high line was going to come back and bite them with the speed that Mbappe and Neymar had. And PSG played it really well, especially the first half, minute 7-8 through minute 37.
Yeah.
I thought they were more likely to score than Bayern were in the first half. Any of the chances Bayern had in the first half, and it just wasn't happening for him. Neymar was somewhat wasteful. Mbappe was wasteful. That clear cut, like, how do you miss that? And he was so nonchalant about it, and just put your laces through it. Like, kick it as hard as you can.
You're shooting at Neuer. You got to bring your best.
He didn't even go for the side. He went straight. I shoot it as hard as you can.
I mean, speaking about Neuer, that man had a game.
They couldn't score against him.
No, even on the one where Mbappe was offside, he still couldn't score.
So, question: I know Neymar. I know Neuer has been hurt the last few years. There's all this talk about Oblak, Ter Stegen, Alisson being the best goalkeeper in the world. Did that change your mind at all after this game? I always thought Neuer's crown was his, and I don't think there has been a better goalkeeper in the past 7 years.
Look at him one-on-one.
One-on-one, he is... I still think, and this is going slightly off topic, but the best save I've ever seen in my life was Neuer versus Arsenal. A couple of years ago in the Champions League, I don't know if you guys remember, we'll try and put a clip in, but he clawed it out of the net when he was already beat.
I remember that.
That is the best save I've ever seen in my life. And today, they couldn't beat him one-on-one. And, he was just class. And I agree. I think he is the best in the world. I think Alisson is good, but I think he is somewhat overrated in terms of his shot-stopping ability.
Yeah.
Edison, of course, I think we all agree, is overrated. His delivery is second to none. Best goalkeeper in the world in terms of footwork. But as a shot-stopper, goalie, one-on-one,
so I'm obviously not a goalkeeper, so I don't know. I'm not an expert in how a goalkeeper should be good. So if I see a goalkeeper making saves, I'm like, oh yeah, they're good. Whenever you hear commentators saying things about keepers or one-on-one, it's like, oh, stay big or, spread your arms and all that stuff. But when you hear a commentator say that, you see a goalkeeper do like, oh, yeah, that's what the commentator say you should do. And he's a goalkeeping expert, so yeah, he's good. But when you see Neuer doing it, it's like, oh, that's what they meant by stay big.
He makes himself so big.
Seriously, it's like when you see Mbappe over a shooter, like, wait, how are they going to score? Because he's like 10 feet wide when he's playing one-on-one. It's like, oh, I actually don't know how they would score. He has strong wrists. Stays big on one-on-one. It's like, even against Lyon, when Toko Ekambi had the one-on-one, it's like, he didn't give him a chance. He didn't give him any angle at all. And Toko Ekambi just was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll shoot, and maybe I'll score. It's like, no, you're not going to score against Neuer one-on-one. It's like almost impossible to score against him. So Yeah, I think Neuer just kind of
Yeah.
reminded everybody, he was like, yeah, I'm still number
I'm here.
one.
I'm here.
Yeah.
It-
Like, oh, yeah, don't count me out yet. I'm still here.
It was
Yeah.
like a real wake up call for Ter Stegen and Barcelona because people have been thinking that Ter Stegen's stealing his German crown and his place in the German squad. But just after that performance and the way he's performed the entire competition, you can't take that away from him. Just the way he does the splits, man, like
Oh,
basically
ridiculous.
one on one.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I
what
mean,
he
he
does.
saved the one shot with his heel, but it wasn't a mistake. He spread himself out to cover as much space as possible. He purposefully did that, and that's where I think that's where PSG failed a lot because they got behind Kimmich a lot this game, and they got behind Davies a bit. But what really let them down was just being proficient in the attacking third. Yes, Neuer had a lot of saves, well, had decisive saves, but decision making in the final third was just and finishing or even putting the ball on target to either side of him just was not there. Because I want to say they had more chances than Munich did. I don't know like what the shots on target was, but I want to say at least PSG had way more chances in the box than Munich did. But yeah, they didn't take good shots or Neuer had really good saves, and that's what really let them down.
So 12-10, and that goes in Bayern's favor.
Okay.
Big chances, 3-2. Yeah. So it's actually Bayern has had more shots.
All right.
I mean, I think starting Angel Di Maria was a mistake. I think he started the game well, but then Davis just worked out how to play against him, which is what all good defenders do. They work out how to play against Angel Di Maria. It's why he didn't work out in the Liga.
How do you don't need to work it out though. Let's be honest.
Left foot.
Yeah, left
Just
foot.
stand on his left foot.
He's not going anywhere else. Like he missed a great shot too.
Mhm.
Like he was put through. I can't remember who it was that put him through, and his right
was
foot.
that was
His
Herrera.
right foot is abysmal.
Herrera.
He could have taken a step.
He could have.
He could have, and he just snatched at it and put it over the bar.
Yeah, that was. I think Mbappe and Neymar. All props go to them. PSG's defense I thought was fantastic. They got back, except that Kerner.
Kehrer.
Yeah, he was just. I mean,
Well, Tom, you were.
Coleman had his way with him.
Yeah.
Coleman just from minute get go, Coleman played with a professionalism, and we've all been there when we play. You just think you come up against a player and you think, no matter what, I have this.
Mhm.
And you could see the way Coleman was running against him from minute one. It was, you're not going to stop me, and he didn't one
Yeah.
time.
Coleman to me was, the best player for Bayern going forward. I don't
Yes.
think anybody was nearly as good as he was. Which we were talking earlier, and it's like, what do you do if you're him? You get to compete with Leroy Sané next season.
Yeah.
What do you do? Chances are you're not gonna beat Leroy Sané. Not now, no respect to Coleman, but we know Bayern favors Leroy Sané. The hierarchy favors him,
And he's German.
and he's German.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna beat Leroy Sané. So what do you do if you're Coleman? Do you look to move, or do you just try to get paid and be a backup?
I think so. He's been injured, right? So he's been playing, at least in the last two games, playing 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and then this game he plays 60 or 70 minutes. So that's him. So, and then Perisic is leaving, so that's his spot for now. So I honestly think that he's definitely going to want first team football because he's been injured. He's finally been worked back into the team. Then who's going to be injured? Then work yourself back into the team just to get benched again. I think he would definitely go for first team football, but then I haven't seen anything at all about him wanting to leave. I guess we still have a bit of time before the window closes, but if he wants to leave, he just put himself in good standing to go somewhere because of the performance that he just put in tonight. So
I don't think he's going to leave this transfer window. I think Leroy Sané has been battling injury too, and he's just coming back. So if anything, he probably thinks he has a good chance to compete and probably beat Sané for the first spot for the next couple months of the new season. But I think when Sané starts hitting the strides and starts proving himself, and his speed is just
Scary.
it's absolutely scary. He's good with the ball at his feet. He's good at finishing. I know that I've always said 2017-18 Man City when they got 100 points. Easily, he was one of the best contributor to that, I think. So it's going to be difficult, I think, for Bayern to keep all their youthful talent.
So let me ask you guys this: why do you think PSG lost today?
Oh yeah. Ooh.
I think PSG has fantastic talent, but they're not as great cohesively as a team as Bayern was, and I think that played a big part. They rely heavily on Neymar and Mbappe.
Yeah.
I don't think they really have anyone else that did anything. Di Maria did okay, like you said, the first half, but he soon died. Mbappe was double covered. Every time he would get the ball, there
And
would
he
be
had
a
to play-
midfielder running there.
And he had to play deep too. So.
He had to play deep, and Neymar was so concerned about Neymar. I mean, not to take anything from Neymar, he took on people. He tried his best. I appreciated that quality, but there was just no movement happening at all. There was no space created, and only time that would create space is when midfielder would push up, and that didn't happen the last 25, 30 minutes really of the game.
Yeah.
So I think they lost because they're not that strong as a team, and I think that's bound to happen when you play in French league that you don't really have good. I mean, it really is.
True.
I mean,
yeah.
Hard times build unity, and I think it's like that no matter if it's sport or real life. Like when you have obstacles to overcome as a team, and that builds unity and that builds team building and
That's
teamwork. And I just don't think they had that.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what I really loved. So I mean, I don't really watch Bundesliga as much as I should, but watching Bayern Munich since the quarterfinals, they'll have people in different positions than they normally play, but there's always somebody in the right position. You never really see open space
Yeah.
in the team, and that's speaks to them just playing as a team. You'll have Davies and Kimmich all the way up in the attacking third. And when PSG got the ball back, Goretzka and Thiago were covering for them. So yes, their defenders weren't in place, but they had a plan to say, okay, yeah, if they're up there, which we know they'll be because that's how we play, we'll cover here, and then people will drop back into the middle to cover, and there wasn't any open space for PSG to just fully exploit.
But the big
well.
part of that, I think, and the other big reason that I really wanted to mention is that Bayern Munich has leadership that significantly better leadership than PSG, and I think that played a huge part. Thiago was fantastic for PSG in the back, organizing and leading that line.
Yeah.
He was really good. They made one mistake, which led to a goal. But I think otherwise there was no leadership on the field, whereas Munich, you have Neuer, you have Alaba, you have Thomas Müller, you have Lewandowski. They've all been there before.
Experience.
They've all been there before. They knew what to do. And I think they just played better as a team.
Well, one thing I noticed as well is very little, and we spoke about it, how well Serge Gnabry played the last few games. Very little came through him.
Yep.
And I've also said the whole game, Kehrer, I don't know what his first name is, PSG player.
Tino, is it? I think it is Tino.
He's a weak player. He's not the level that they need. And
Tilo.
And
Tilo.
It doesn't surprise me that they brought Koeman in for this game, because obviously Koeman went for him from the first minute. And I think it's just better management. I don't think Tuchel was a very good manager. Not reactive enough. He didn't make. Why bring on Moting when you've got Icardi on? Why not start Icardi?
I get why they wouldn't start him, right? Because I think the front three are really fast. Bayern has been playing that high line.
Yeah.
I could see the reasoning why you wouldn't start Icardi. What I don't understand is when you need a target man, when you need someone that knows that's able to score goals, why are you bringing Choupo-Moting?
Yeah.
Like, he got you through against Atlanta, but it's not going to get you against Bayern.
No, it's kind of like in FIFA where, you're playing the Champions League final and then your bench player is like, Coach, I've been in really good form lately. Am I going to start? Am I going to play?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what happened with Choupo-Moting.
16-year-old reserve.
Yeah. And Choupo-Moting is like, I did really well against Atalanta. Can I come in and play against?
But you needed a target man. You needed someone for those crosses. You just needed someone that's going to put that defense on pressure and be a physical presence. Yeah. Mbappe is not. Neymar is not. Di Maria is not. They're fast, but they're not going to be physically imposing, and Icardi was going to be that. So if you have speeds in the wing, why would you not try to?
I don't
I'm with you, man. I don't think Tuchel is that great of a manager.
I just don't think
You
he's
put
that
me in
good.
charge of PSG, and I could probably win a French League One
I
title.
think there's something going on because I don't even think Icardi played at all in these knockout stages. But Choupo-Moting did, so I think there's probably something else going on that we don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
Is he? He's not injured, is he?
I mean, I just
Well, he
don't
was on the
understand.
bench,
Like,
so he's on the bench, so he shouldn't be injured.
we saw in the last game against Barcelona, not the last game, the second from last game, against Barcelona, how well Jordi Alba got in behind Kimmich.
Mm-hmm.
You have Mbappe, who's one of the best players in the world. Why wasn't their game plan get the ball to Mbappe on the left-hand side? Don't switch him because Davis dealt with Mbappe very, very easily, and they had to switch him straight back. Di Maria somewhat gave Davis a hard time at the start, then he worked everything out and
Yeah.
was unbeatable. And Davis didn't have his best game by any means, but
No, he didn't, but he did enough.
He dealt with it. Like every time Maria got the ball, he worked out to get touch tight with him and not give him any space to turn on his left foot.
Yeah, after he got that yellow card, he just stood on the left side of Di Maria, and Di Maria was like, "Oh, what do I do now?" And he was
It's
toast.
like, oh.
He was toast after he started staying on his left side. It's like, "Oh, okay, all right, is that easy? I'll just keep on doing that." Like, seriously.
And like, I mean, we've spoken about. We all thought that PSG would get a goal because of Bayern's high line, and Davis likes to play high up, Kimmich likes to play high up, and they did play high up, but PSG did nothing to expose it.
Well, they created plenty of chances. They just could not capitalize on it. Bayern is so good at getting back because they do have fast players. Narby is fast. Alfonso is fast. They're able to get back and recover. But PSG had plenty of chances to score. They just could not finish. They could not capitalize.
Yeah, and I think that's why PSG lost. Just the decisions that they made in the final third were not smart enough. There was the one time they had the 3-on-2, and then Mbappe, instead of going wide to pull the defenders apart, runs in between them. It's like, dude, are you kidding me? They're just going to stay right there and mark 3 people so easily because of running in between them. Why don't you run out wide so the defender has to make a decision? Do I go out wide to mark you, or do I stay here and mark the ball? And if he stays to mark the ball, you're going to get played through. If the defender goes wide, Neymar's going to go right through the 2. And if the other guy comes in to mark him, he's going to play it off to the third player. And then he just ran through the middle, and the defenders just stayed right where they were. I was like, oh, perfect. You just made their job so much easier. And then there were other, I can't remember exact instances, but there were other instances like that where it's just PSG had the ball and they had a numerical advantage and they just did not make the right decision. And then Bayern was able to either get back into shape or win the ball back. It's like the decision making in the final third was not the best from PSG.
There were some cases where that was absolutely true, but then there were others when I was like, why would you do that? And then it actually worked out for him. Like Di Maria chance that he absolutely missed was one of those. Mbappe chance where he went straight. I was like, all right. It's like I didn't get it, but it kind of works for him.
No, yeah,
like all these
those are good chances.
These weird chances actually kind of sometimes work for him, their decision making. But it's just whenever you get those chances, you gotta finish, and not a single PSG player was on a par. Even Mbappe, when he went 1-on-1 with Neuer in offside position, he still couldn't beat him. Yeah. Like at that point, it's like, what do you do? Like,
imagine how demoralized you'd be when the whistle's the whistle hadn't gone, but I'm pretty sure he knew it was offside. Imagine knowing that this doesn't count, and he still can't score and doesn't count.
Yeah.
Imagine how demoralizing that is.
Well, it just
I'm sure
messed with your head, wouldn't
Oh
it?
yeah.
And that's why Neuer went straight away and did put his 2 arms up and was just staring him down, like,
it's like,
you're not
respect.
beating me.
Yeah.
I love that mentality from
Me
him.
too. Like, you have to.
I absolutely love that mentality.
Yeah, you
from
have
him.
to. You have to remind him, say, hey, I know it doesn't matter, but the ball isn't going to the net. No matter what minute it is, even after the whistle's blown, it's still not going in.
Well, it's just that in soccer, the popular notion is that strikers are arrogant and overconfident, and they're the Madonnas of the team. But Neuer, it's like his overconfidence is just like he just raises his arms. It's like, nah, it's not happening. It's like even you're not getting past me.
Why are you trying?
Even when
why
you're
are you
outside
trying?
goal, like it's just not gonna happen. And I love that confidence. I think he was by far the most influential player for Bayern today.
Is he your man of the match?
Yeah, is he your man of the match?
Absolutely, 100%. He was scintillating. He was just phenomenal, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. Neuer would be my man of the match
I
too.
have to
Just,
agree.
especially just when it was one on one, just nobody. I mean that Mbappe chance, like I know it wasn't the best shot, but still, just
Straight down the middle. It was awful.
Well,
And-
actually,
man.
it was like slightly to the left, and he tried faking it with his body, but because of Moyer's ability to spread himself and closing down at the same, so he's running towards you. And
How does he
making
even
his
do
body-
it? Like
I don't
his
know.
leg just kind of goes like
yeah,
just
it just
covers.
spreads.
It covers so much.
And if you notice, his arms are out too. So if you try and go up in the air, he can either bring him up or bring him down. So he's not just covering the ground; he's covering up in the air too.
Only person I could think that could beat him is Peter Crouch, obviously. You know, the hope, the great hope.
just for size.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neuer has to be my man of the match because when Bayern, when the whole team was beaten, Neuer's like, okay, yeah, I got it. No worries, I bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to say Kingsley Coman is my man of the match, but then I think attackers get too much credit, and defenders, it's like, oh, did you see that goal? And it's like, but did you see all the chances?
I'm converting you guys.
So no, I do think that Neuer he was a captain today.
I also think Bayern got lucky when Boateng got hurt because they brought in Sula, and I think it worked better for them than when Boateng was on. Like,
Yeah,
I think he should have started in the first place.
I was kind of confused by that because Hansi Flick's been bringing him on at half, or maybe with 40 minutes to go, but which I don't know what that tactic behind that is. I'm sure. I mean, obviously there's something.
I bet
there,
Boateng's just
but-
not match fit, and he wants to go with Boateng. That's the only thing I
Yeah,
can think of
probably
that
the
makes
experience.
sense.
Well, the experience, I would say. Probably
Yeah.
experience. I think Boateng is phenomenal when it comes to leading the back line.
Hmm.
And, you know, Alaba is not naturally a center back.
He's a left back.
Yeah.
Lefty, yeah.
So the fact that he's playing center back role, I think is just
You wanted more experienced
Boateng
person
is
there.
Boateng is probably there just to kind of give an experience
That
to
makes
that.
sense.
But, so here's a question, just to finish off about the game. How do you think PSG should have approached the game to win?
Ooh.
I think they should have played with 2 strikers instead of 3, and I think they should have had Neymar as a freeloader, like just roaming around in the center mid, be a creative playmaker. I would have put Mbappe and I would have put Di Maria to start off with, maybe attacking, but I definitely would have brought Icardi on 55th minute, 60th minute when you were down, just because you need that target man and you need someone that's going to be more versatile than Di Maria. Di Maria is good at what he does, but he is a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a poor man's Arjen Robin. You know?
He is.
I mean, he really is.
The
And
Argentine version.
I'm not taking anything from Di Maria. I think he's a
He's a
decent
snake.
player. I think you may think that, but I think he's a good player.
He's fine.
He's fine. He's a good player. He was a player of the game for Real Madrid in a Champions League final. He's done well with PSG. I think he's a solid player. But at a certain point, though, you need a notable striker. You need a target man. You need someone that's going to be able to hold up the line, hold up the ball, let your defense, let your midfield and offense
Catch up.
move up. And that's, towards the end of the game, we've seen PSG try to push for it, but they were outnumbered by Bayern.
Yeah, because Bayern's well structured.
Absolutely. And it's like,
very well
and
managed.
if you're Neymar and Mbappe and you're running a defense, what are you gonna like? At a certain point, you have to think about either crossing or shooting. You can't always just cut it back
Yeah,
because at that point,
you can't always have 2-3 passes around the box.
no, and
for a shot.
they needed a poacher like Icardi. I think he would have helped them.
I think that France's key to win the World Cup would have helped PSG win this game, because France would just sit back and defend really well, then release either it was Griezmann or Mbappe. Pogba would release either of them, or play the ball to Giroud, and Mbappe and Griezmann would catch up, and then they'd go from there. If they'd done the same thing, like you said, have a target man, like even like start with Choupo-Moting, play the ball to him, he'll hold the ball up.
He couldn't do crap.
Somebody
He couldn't do shit.
Somebody.
Choupo-Moting would be like trying to touch it, and it would just like 5 feet away from him.
But if they play like that, because they defended well. Whenever Bayern had the ball, they had like six person back line. But they did that. They sacrificed Mbappe and Di Maria to do that, because Mbappe was playing the back line essentially to defend, which was unfortunate because he needs to be he doesn't need to be defending. He needs to be the trigger to release. if they played to have Mbappe as a trigger to release, say, okay, as soon as we get the ball back, we're just sending it long, and Mbappe is gonna go, and then go against Kimmich, not Davies, because Davies will beat him, will catch up, or it'll be close, and that advantage is gone. Have him go against Kimmich because he's faster than Kimmich. Have him go down there, and then you have someone else, everybody else catching up. Then Bayern has to respect that and can't just have their high line because they know as soon as PSG gets the ball back, they're gonna release Mbappe, and Mbappe is gonna have people coming in support. But they they did play the ball in behind Kimmich a few times, and they did play the ball in behind to have Neymar and Mbappe get the ball, but I don't think they did it correctly, like well enough.
I mean, they had plenty. Like I said, they had two strikers that would have had more people in midfield, which would have helped them control midfield a little better. After 37 minutes and on, Bayern dominated the midfield. They were, I mean, PSG was struggling to get the ball out of their half for like solid 10, 15 minutes of the game time. And having Neymar drop back or whoever was playing that roaming role would have actually helped with that, because Neymar is so good at taking people on. He would have drawn two people to him, or he would have gotten fouled.
I think Steve said the key thing, that what PSG need and they struggle with was their midfield. Getting it through to Neymar as their playmaker was the hard part.
Yeah.
If they had Pogba, or a player like Pogba in that CDM role that isn't only a great CDM but can play the ball anywhere.
Well, isn't that what Verratti's for?
But he's not.
He only played 20 minutes anyway.
Yeah, and if they had a Pogba, like physically, the presence of Pogba there is enough to kind of mentally do things. Let's be honest, like if you were playing, 11 aside, and it's us playing someone else, and you see someone Verratti's size, not taking any skill away from Verratti.
Yeah.
Substitute him for Pogba. Who is going to play with your head more?
Yeah, but you substitute him for Conte. You substitute Pogba for Conte. Who's going to play with your head more?
Yeah, true, but Conte is a different breed.
Yeah, Conte is like...
I guess that's
Conte's
true.
an outlier.
But still, Conte is not a playmaker.
He's not. They need a playmaker.
They have that in Verratti, that kind of little aggressive, chase the ball down no matter what.
Yeah.
What they were lacking, and they lost so many balls in that midfield role trying to get it to Neymar because they didn't have the quality. I mean, I've said it again. I think PSG's downfall is playing Kehrer and not Thomas Meunier. I don't know if Meunier is injured, but
I totally forgot about Meunier.
Yeah.
He's a great wing back.
why are they not playing it? Why are they playing Kehrer, who hit the goal was his fault?
Yeah, couldn't get over his own feet,
and he was lucky that he didn't give a penalty away or whatever. No, that was the other way. So yeah, let's talk about that, because there's a couple of big penalty decisions that
3.
Well, 3.
I want to start with saying, and like we are a kid-friendly podcast, but I'll say this: the ref was shit. Like we don't want to swear as much, but I'll say that the ref was painfully bad. Had no control of the game.
Yeah,
his decisions were terrible. Every dive that went on, he'd call, and then Bayern Munich would go and get a legit foul, and because they didn't make a scene, they didn't get a free kick. And it goes back to the point of, do you have to scream and shout like your leg's broken now to get called on? And that ref, yeah, you did.
Yeah. Well, I think what really turned us, at least turned me against the ref, and definitely turned Bayern against the ref, is that he made it seem like he was bailing on the PSG players. So there were, I want to say, 4 times where a PSG defender got fouled. I'll agree they got fouled, but he didn't call a foul until they lost the ball. And then I didn't see any hand signal from him saying, "Oh, play on." It was more like, "Oh, they're getting fouled. Oh, they could be getting fouled. Oh, they lost the ball." And then you hear the whistle go. And if you see that happen and you haven't seen the referee signal play on, they're going to say, "Oh, you just bailed him out because you lost the ball." If you signaled, "We're playing on, I see the foul, let's play on," or if you called the foul immediately, it would have been a completely different perception of him.
I mean, he
doesn't blow the whistle until after. Like, oh, okay, I'll bail you out. Then that's gonna be your perception of him, and then that's what you're gonna have in your mind, like, oh, okay, like you're favoring them.
It wasn't the best performance by the ref, but for me, Paredes or whatever his name is was actually at fault. Like when Neymar got fouled, he just went up there and started causing crap, which basically just you awoken Bayern. Now you actually fired them up.
Yeah, you literally, and for the listeners, like we just watched the game together, and Brato literally said they've just awoken the beast. And 5 minutes later, guess what happened? Bayern scored.
Yeah, it's.
that's just foolish.
I mean, yeah, you got to know when to, be.
Pick your battles.
Yeah, you got to know when to be passionate. Your team was actually the better up to that point, I thought. For the majority part, they created better chances. They've done better. Then what you've done is just you riled up Bayern and you disorganized your team because all of a sudden they're there now, like trying to separate you from getting a red card.
Yeah.
It was just poor. I if I was Tuchel, I would just bench him the next
Me
day.
too.
It's like, you know what, you're gonna sit out. But the main, to finish up this game, where do you go from here? If you're a PSG, where do you go from here?
Fire your coach.
What do you do?
Fire your coach, spend more money.
I agree. I agree with Steve. I'd find a new manager, and I said this in the last podcast about Barcelona, but Pochettino at PSG would be a good call because he's got those quick players. They already play the formation that Pochettino likes to play. He's better than Tuchel as a manager, and he's going to pick the right players. They have a lot of dead weight in that team. I know they're getting rid of Thiago Silva, but get rid of some of the youngsters before you get rid of an experienced, good defender like Thiago Silva.
I would say hire Conte. I think Conte would be amazing at PSG.
He would be good.
Conte's biggest problem is
be.
that he doesn't get players he wants, and at PSG he would get players he wants.
But does Conte want to deal with
Farmers
those
League
egos?
Attitude.
No, he doesn't want to deal with it.
Absolutely.
What was he an excerpt of one of his interviews just came out. I forget what it. I think it was saying like if a player doesn't doesn't respond or doesn't do what he wants to do, it's like he's like, oh, it's better I'll just kill them or whatever. That was what he said. Conte's trying to do that. He doesn't. Well, I guess that's what you need in a club like that. He doesn't deal with just BS. It's like, okay, you're not doing what I want you to do. Bye.
I remember watching him play, and he was absolute bulldog, no nonsense kind of guy.
Yeah, he's a no nonsense kind of guy.
He kind of reminds me of Roy Keane for Italy. Like he was just, it's like he's old school, and I think PSG could use that. I think at a club like PSG, you need someone that's going to be more structured. That's not going to be players' friends, because you don't need those players to have friends. You need those players to have some direction, and Conte would provide that. And he's not happy. He wouldn't hesitate to bench players if they're not doing well.
That's true.
Yeah, so like this is a very real thing that could happen. So to answer your question, what the PSG need to do, play Thomas Meunier because
he wasn't even on the bench for the record.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Is he injured?
or not.
He probably is.
I don't know, but you need to play him because not only is he PSG starting right back, he's Belgium starting right back, who are ranked number 1 in the FIFA World Rankings. So start Thomas Meunier, bring in a Pogba type player. As much as I hate to say it, Tanguy Ndombele is a PSG player because he hasn't got the defensive attitude, but going forward he is, and he wouldn't need the defensive attitude in France.
Imagine in Ndombele releasing Mbappe or Neymar on the wings.
And he could, because he's got the class. And then with Neymar in front of him, and maybe put Verratti next to Ndombele and just give Ndombele that bit of freedom in the middle and Neymar that bit of freedom just further up, they could be scary. So I think they need to make a sign like that. I think they need to change the coach, and I think Conte is a really good shout. I think he would bring a style of football that would change PSG and make them real contenders, because I know a lot of people and like professional pundits had PSG winning this game, but none of what they did today.
All the people in the studio had PSG winning. I think they all had PSG winning, which they, on paper, they had a good chance because they had speed on the wings.
I get it.
I think part of it just they don't have championship mentality.
That's it.
They were partying, well, not partying, but they were celebrating, like going crazy after they won the semifinal. Okay, you beat RB Leipzig. Leipzig technically on paper shouldn't have even gone that far. And then Bayern, after they beat Barcelona 8-2, they're just like, all right, yeah, good game.
But I think that's
that mentality. Like, okay, yeah, we won a great game, but we're not even close to being done. Like okay, all right, let's prepare for next game. PSG's like, oh yeah, we're in. Like, it's great to be here.
But that's the allure, I think, of PSG, and I think this is why they need a coach of Conte's caliber. They have Tuchel, who's like I mean, Conte celebrates like no one else. He's very passionate, and so is Tuchel. But he's also, I think, he's more pragmatic and realistic. Where Tuchel was, Conte, I don't think would allow the celebration
No,
to
no
go
way.
to that extent of, we're made it to the finals. Like, I wish Champions League had Roy Keane on that.
Oh man,
I
he would've
wish.
ripped him apart.
I
wanna
would
hear
have
his
I
comments.
would have loved to hear his feedback and just have him crush. By the way, I would love to have beer with Roy Keane.
Oh man,
Yeah, that'd be
he's my one
amazing.
guy. Him and I mean, I really like David Beckham, so I'd love to have it. But Roy Keane, I would, as you said, just imagine going to a bar with Roy Keane and being like, "What do you think of Patrick Vieira?"
he just looking out the side of his eyes like, really?
I'm more curious to see what he actually thinks about current United.
Oh, me too.
Yo, well, he said what he thinks about a lot of them.
Yeah, what do you really think about OGS? You know, what do you really think about him?
But yeah, I think that's what PSG need. I think they need to find a coach that can do. Tuchel gives Neymar too much freedom.
But he gives all of them too much freedom, and I think at the end of the day, what happens is the leadership is kind of like, I'm leading because based on popularity, not based on I'm doing what needs to be done. And I think that's a big difference. At least that's the impression that I get. And I could be 100% wrong, but that's the impression I get from Tuchel and, PSG in general. He leads because of popularity, not because of decisions that are made. And his players love him.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone loves him, but
you also got to be realistic at the same point. Like, hey, I want to win championships.
Yeah.
Not I want to keep everybody happy.
Yeah.
And if you don't accept it, like, you know what, we're here to win championships.
and we talk about United, we talk about Man City, about how much money they've spent to win a Champions League.
PSG.
Look at PSG, right? And it's
Yeah.
just like it's impossible to actually go. I mean, to me, Lyon has significantly higher respect
Oh yeah.
than PSG does,
Oh,
just
yeah.
because they made it this far and they're 7th in French league, which says a lot.
They were a good team.
And that's
as
what
well. They
that's
were-
what their star striker not able to make 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Moussa Dembele was supposed to be the star striker, but I think he was injured or whatever. So he's like coming in, playing 20, 30 minutes, and they still made it to the semifinals. Like, yeah, way more respect to Lyon.
What do you? So we talk about what the next step for PSG is, but if you're Bayern, what do you do?
They've already made the step of
Yeah, they already got
signing
Sane.
If they could tie Coman down to a new contract and just make him happy, if you could somehow find the balance of playing Sane, bring Coman on the 70th minute, play Coman the next game. If you can find that friendly balance, and then if they can find the other thing on the other side with Gnabry, maybe bring Wolves, just put Adama Traore for sale.
So
They put him for sale?
no, yeah, because Nuno Espirito has been told he has to come up with his own transfer funds. So
If Bayern went for Traore,
Adama Traore, I don't know how stable, how true this rumor is, but the same Nuno has been told, hey, we're not giving any money to sign anybody new, so they might put Traore on the market. So Traore might be, somebody be trying to snap him
Damn
up.
it. I mean, if
Like, that'd be
Bayern got,
nuts.
if Bayern got Traore, game over.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I
They
think
can.
Traore would go-
That's what I think Bayern is. I think at this point they're the best team clearly in Europe, but they cannot retain all that talent. And I think that's going to be the biggest obstacle. How do you retain that talent? And I don't see them doing it.
I think if they do a bit of clever management and say, listen, next year we can come back and win it again, and then we can come back the next year and win it again, and we can set records, that would make you as a player think, he's got something here. We've got something going. We can break records.
Yeah, but do you want to win a championship by not being part? Like if I was Pavard, right? Kimmich is taking my spot. Like,
I'll let you finish, then I'll go.
but Kimmich is taking my spot, and then if I'm Kimmich and Pavard actually goes back to being a right back, because Kimmich is not a right back at all, he's more of a, then you have to battle against Narvi. Serge.
But
And
he
it's-
doesn't. But Kimmich is pretty sure he's a center midfielder. He'll probably move to center midfield because Thiago's probably about to leave to Liverpool. So this
That's
is all.
true.
This is all if it goes according to what's possibly happening. If Thiago goes to Liverpool, Kimmich just goes back into center midfield alongside Goretzka, and then Pavard gets the right back spot back, and then all that is sorted, and Pavard is happy, Gnabry is happy, and Kimmich is happy. He's not playing right back. Where I mean, he didn't look. I mean, who knows what it really feels
I
like.
mean,
But
Yeah, that's true. And I guess Coutinho is leaving too.
yeah,
See, and Ivan Perisic is on loan. Remember?
yeah. So
Yeah.
don't have to worry about that. So I mean, they probably planned it out. I mean, we don't know what's going
They
on.
still have
but-
Tolisso too, which he's
Oh,
a
I forgot
fantastic
about Tolisso.
player.
Lisa's good.
Is he starter good?
Thiago's quality, no, but could he be because he's young? Yeah. I want to get on to what you guys think of where Adama Traore could end up, because I know there's some crazy transfers flying around right now.
Man
But
United.
nah.
Hold on.
absolutely not.
This is what ends up happening. Wolves are like, oh, we'll take 50 million. I'm like, yeah, 50 million, we'll pay that.
They're not going to sell him for 50.
No, they'll go at 80. I
We'll
bet
pay
they'll-
it.
I think they're
bet
listed
you-
him
I
at
bet you-
120.
I bet any ridiculous price that he's listed for, Man United pays it.
Listen, if
They wouldn't
try-
pay for Sancho. I doubt they're going to pay.
Well, we wouldn't pay 120, but I can totally see Man United paying stupid money for Adama Traore. I can totally see it.
I think he would just
City.
thrive under, if they found a good manager, like a good, like, you know, Pep can bring the best out of players, especially attacking players. Or
Mhm.
if he goes somewhere like PSG and goes on the right with Mbappe on the other side.
Ooh. But then what happens with Di Maria?
Di Maria's old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Screw him.
I could see PSG lashing out money, but I also very much could see him going to City. I think they need backup on that spot, especially with
yeah.
Sane leaving. I know Sane put in the opposite wing, but I think it's something that could work with.
But is Traore a Pep player though?
Absolutely,
He could be.
he's a Barcelona grown player.
Mm-hmm.
He just made the Spain squad as well for the
He
first
just-
time.
yeah.
Oh, really?
He's a Barcelona
Wow.
grown player, and Pep is very familiar with him.
Mm-hmm.
I think absolutely he's Pep's type of player. I think he has speed. I think he has power.
Yeah.
And I definitely think his technical abilities, he hasn't been able to demonstrate them,
Yes.
but they're there.
Okay.
Yeah, he has.
You don't go through Barcelona Academy and now become a technical player, right? Like,
I guess it's just because whenever I see, granted, I don't watch a lot of Wolves games because I hate Wolves because whenever they play top six or Man United, they always manage to win, and then they won't.
because
beat-
they're a
That's
good
why I love to
team.
watch
Then-
it.
then
it's-
they
That's
won't-
why I love to
then
watch
they
him.
won't beat bottom half. It makes no sense. They turn up against top six, but won't beat bottom half. But whatever, that's not what we're talking about. But from all I've seen about Adama Traore, it's mainly been he needs space to be able to excel. I guess
City provides
But
that.
he can make the space.
he
Yeah.
can make the space, but if you're playing against a team that sits back, it's like, okay, what do you do? Which I think is part of why he excels against top six teams because top
Because
six
they
teams
don't sit
don't
back.
sit back. They play
You've
more
got a
open.
point. You've got a point.
But actually,
Yeah.
I changed my mind. Man United wouldn't go for him, but I changed my mind on that. But I don't know where he would go to. Actually, now that I think about it.
I could see him doing really, really well at City. I think his biggest competition would be Mahrez. And I think he could definitely beat him
Me too.
to get the starting spot. Just because I
He's
think
so
Mahrez
dangerous.
is so good,
Yeah,
but I think Mahrez is so selfish where Traore is more of a team player. And I think he would bring more to the team and have more of an impact than Mahrez does. And can you, I know Sergio Aguero is old, but holy crap, if you have Gabriel Jesus, Raheem Sterling, and Traore, that is the fastest front three in Europe.
Oh,
I don't
goodness.
see anyone that's going to be able to actually beat that front three speed-wise.
The thing about
Well,
Traore
Rashford, Martial, and
I don't
James
think
and
I don't
Greenwood
think
are-
they stand a chance. I'm
Mm.
gonna be
Traore
honest.
is the fastest player I've ever seen play football.
Daniel James
He's-
is probably faster, but
no,
Traore, Daniel James is like a
No.
smart car, right? And Traore is like a train. Like, you know what I mean?
James,
It's like
James could like.
James is fast.
But
James is
he's-
extremely fast.
He's not Traore fast.
Traore is fast because he's also like Traore built. Traore is like LeBron
He's a
James
track.
of soccer.
He is
Like-
an athlete through and through.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's pure athlete. And I think that's why he would thrive so well under Pep, because Pep will demand and get the best out of him.
I don't know. I just don't see it. But
I would love to see Traore, a team that would make him thrive a little more.
I also see Spurs. I could
I
see
would
him.
say
I could see him doing
would-
really well under Mourinho.
And I
Yeah.
think him and Lucas Moura would have a good battle to win place. But I also think that they'd balance that well. I think that they would give both game time. I would love to see that. And Traore isn't the best at passing or crossing, but what he does do is he puts the ball in there in dangerous spaces where you know Harry Kane is going to be. Or if Harry Kane misses it, Son is going to come in.
Yeah.
I think he would do really well at Tottenham. And that's not just being biased. I genuinely think that.
But that's the other reason why I see him doing so well in City is because City does a lot of short passes rather than
Oh, so he
crosses.
doesn't have to cross.
Oh, I mean, pass and move. He would dominate that. 1-2s. He has such a fast starting speed, acceleration that he would be a disaster for opposition.
You see him play and you think, oh, he missed his opportunity to run. And then he runs anyway. And you're like, well, I spoke too soon.
And he gets to it.
Like, he made Jan Vertonghen look stupid when he played Spurs.
That's not hard, though.
Yeah, it's really not that hard.
Not anymore. He used to be. He used to be.
But any player that Traore plays against, I've never seen a defender defend him. I've seen him.
You haven't seen Kurt Zuma then.
Hey, Kurt Zuma.
Or Phil Jones.
Hey.
I think Kyle Walker. The only player I've seen Kyle Walker get beaten for pace. One of them is Kingsley Coman.
Yeah.
England versus France. The other is Adama Traore. They can't deal with him. But Walker dealt with James perfectly fine.
Well, James is just an experience, and I think James, while he is fast,
similar age,
he lacks. Well, may be, but
James only has 2 years of professional experience.
Well, more than anything, you can't. While he is fast, when you're running that fast, all you need is a slight push for you to be gone.
Yeah.
They literally have to oil that man up.
Yeah, totally.
So the players can't hold him.
Don't grab him. Yeah, it was wild.
I mean,
but you also can't, he's that strong that even if he didn't get oiled up, the only reason they do that is because he has a bad shoulder, because he keeps dislocating his shoulder.
Yeah.
So that's why they started, and now they do it because he's rapid and he'll run through him. But he's so strong when he runs. He is a tank.
Yeah.
Once he gets going, you're not stopping him, and that's what teams are scared of. And I completely agree that I think he'll thrive under Pep.
And I think he will be. He's just the kind of player Mourinho wants. I think strong, fast, and willing to put in the work. And I think Traore, I mean, with his endurance, he's gonna put in the work. He just needs the right manager to push him. And Santos, he did a great job of getting the best out of him. But at this point, he could go beyond. He could go.
Oh, yeah.
He could go. He did the best, I should say, at this level to get the best out of him. But I think his potential is significantly higher.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But real quick, before you just go into whole lot of love and trash talk, I kind of want to talk about Chelsea transfers a little bit.
Yeah, Chilwell and Havertz.
So right now, Chilwell and Havertz. So,
I'm not happy about Chilwell. I'm going to put this out there.
Really?
You know what? I was really excited.
Let's
I was really happy at first when when Chilwell was up, being a target. And I was like, you know what? He would be great for Chelsea. And I think he would. But he's also, 50 million? I think we could get Reguilon from Real Madrid, who's actually just made a final and beaten Manchester United. And I think he would cost 25 million. And he's young. He's only 22, 23
too.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he would be very good. Like, defensively, they're solid. Defensively, he's good.
Yeah.
But he's also half that cost, which I think would be significantly better for us. So we can actually get another decent player.
But it's also, there's always the argument of Premier League proven.
And English speaking.
Premier League,
we have plenty of Spaniards.
But here's what happened with Harry Maguire, right? Number one, Leicester didn't need to sell. He was English, and we needed a defender, so that's why he ended up costing that much. And he's Premier League proven. So 4 things right there. And I was still same thing for Chile. He's Premier League proven. He's English. Leicester don't really need to sell.
Premier League proven is such a subjective matter, though, right? Because we have plenty of defenders that are Premier. Like Kurt Zuma was Premier League proven, and he did fantastic. He did really well at Everton. Mm-hmm. He got into Chelsea, and he was trash. So I think, especially the first part of the season, granted he became the best defender we have the second part of the season,
Yeah.
but he was absolute trash the first half of the season. I think Premier League proven. I think there is something to say when you're playing on a team that's mid-table to lower table versus when you
Yeah.
go to the big team like Manchester United. Harry Maguire is not that good of a defender. I wouldn't pay 30 million for that
No,
big-headed
my
bastard.
goodness.
But
You're just
know,
ignoring everything I just mentioned.
but it's Keane. He is Premier League proven. He was in demand by everyone. John Stones was in demand by everyone. He's sitting on a bench.
Well, John Stones.
Fernandinho is getting a start ahead of John Stones, and John Stones is
This is what I'm talking
defender.
about. I think John Stones got ruined by Pep. Is this whole thing of just playing the ball from the back thing. I think that's what's happening there. I think John Stones could go to any club and he still do well. I think he went to City way too early, and they
Yeah, I agree.
can't do exactly what Pep wants, is him playing from the back and playing that style of defense. And then Pep wants that in particular. Like, I do not want to launch the ball forward. I do not want to lose the ball from the back. I want to play from the back. Specifically wants that, and Stones hasn't been able to do that for him. So I would say Stones could go to any club in the Premier League and he'd be fine. Just
I think you're part right. I think he can go to any mid-table. I think he can go to any maybe out of top four
easily,
clubs,
yes, yeah.
and he would be fine. But there is
Mhm.
certain pressure that comes when you go into clubs like United. There's certain pressures that go into clubs like Chelsea. Sorry, Tom. There's not that pressure going to
No,
Spurs,
there's
as
not.
you know.
There's
Yeah.
not, yeah.
But there is certain pressure that goes into that where defenders just get it into their head, and not just defenders, but players in general get into their head, and they're just awful.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Danny Drinkwater. He played an integral part for Leicester. He was pretty good at Leicester in order to help Leicester win a title.
Yeah.
That can't be taken away from him. He did not. I mean, how many games did he play for Chelsea? 3.
I was gonna say 4.
You know,
but-
Did he make a permanent transfer to Burnley?
yeah, he's in it.
He did. And he's on a bench there now. Like
He's just
he
not the
literally
player.
went so far downhill, and I think that there's something to be said about mentality of certain defenders, and I think that can be taken lightly.
Okay. All right. So you're not excited about Chilwell.
I'm excited for any.
You're not?
I should have. I don't want to say that.
He
I'm
is an
excited.
improvement.
I'm excited
Yeah,
for
he's
any
an
left back
improvement.
that we get
That knows how
compared
to
to what we
defend.
have. Yes,
That knows how to play
absolutely,
defense.
absolutely. But I think Reguilón, I would have been happier with him because I think he's just as young as Chilwell. I think he might not be as good, but he would actually get better. And I think the more he adapts to Premier League, he has the necessary attributes to be good.
All right.
I worry with Chilwell that the price tag is going to affect him. That's what I worry. I worry about Chilwell that he's going to be another Harry Maguire or another Fernando Torres. And granted,
I completely get that.
granted,
Yeah.
I'm not trashing Harry Maguire. He's been your best defender so far, but I worry that price tag is going to get to him, and people when he's not performing as well he should have, it's going to be all just crap that's thrown at him. He's like $50 million for this trash, and depending on mentality,
Dude,
it
media
could
is
kill him.
ruthless.
He is
man.
an England international as well.
Yeah.
And the England games he's played, he's been really good. So him and Trent in the England team
Yeah.
is awesome. But I agree. He reminds me very much of James Maddison.
Yeah.
I think if James Maddison went somewhere else, he wouldn't be anywhere near as good. I don't know why that is. I get the feeling it's mentality. I think that Maddison thinks he's better than he actually is.
Mhm.
But
And he fits so well with Leicester.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he
Yeah.
is and I do see Chilwell at Chelsea. When I look at him, I think he's a Chelsea player.
Hey, I mean, I hope you're right. The 50 million tag still worries me, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be some add-ons that are going to be
Oh, yeah.
paid.
Oh, of course, there always is.
But and I still think we need a solid midfielder. I know we have.
So do you think Havertz is gonna come? Because I thought that was.
That's my trash talk. That's my trash talk.
So perfect. We can
Okay,
start
on to
trash
that.
talk right now then.
Yeah, we can.
Rob, so you start.
Yeah. Start us
Here's
off
my
then.
trash talk. Chelsea, get your shit together. Havertz has been linked with you for months. I am so tired of waiting and anticipating. Every morning I wake up, first thing I do is open up the stupid app to see if the deal is done. I am tired of it. I want it to be done.
Yeah.
Pay the $90 freaking million. Pay it. If you're paying 50 for Chilwell, we need a playmaker. We need a playmaker so bad. Have someone, and he's so young and he's tall and lanky. He is a Premier League material if he can remain injury free.
Yeah.
I just get him. I'm so tired of anticipation. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's been months. It's been weeks.
Yeah, what is going on?
It's been weeks. They're haggling over the freaking cost of him. Bayern wants 90, Chelsea wants 75. At some point, though, Bayern, come on. If Chelsea is gonna want him, they'll probably come back in 2 years and not give you shit. You're gonna get rid of him. You're gonna let him go for free. No, it's gonna be the same thing what happened with Leroy Sané and Bayern.
No, see what you need.
Dele Alli, yes.
You need to go to the Woodward School of Negotiation. Say we'll give you 75, then 20 if he wins Ballon d'Or, another 20 if he wins Champions League.
Dude, I mean,
that's Woodward. Like, if he wins Ballon d'Or, we'll give you another $5 million.
How does that work for you guys?
Well, we got players, and we haven't had to pay add-ons.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely just crazy. It's frustrating.
Even I would like to see him in the Premier League, and
yeah, I do too. Weird. I want to see a good player at Chelsea. That doesn't even make any sense.
I'm the same, and I always think to myself, why am I saying that?
Yeah.
Like, why am I saying I want Chelsea to sign a world-class player?
Well, because our while we have our favorite teams and while we don't like the other teams, we want to see quality and good soccer.
Yeah,
and he would provide that.
I like the football there.
And and the other part is, what are you doing with the goalkeeper? Chelsea's my trash talk.
Lay it on.
Come on. It's been weeks already. Freaking, come on.
What goalkeeper?
So I read an article, Mendy, from Rennes is, being looked at, and I'm okay with that. Damn. I'd be definitely okay with that.
Sign a Newport County goalkeeper. You've got a better goalkeeper.
Absolutely. You put me in a goal, I'll be a better goalkeeper.
You would.
Bring Peter Cech back. He'll be a better goalkeeper.
Stick your foot out.
Come on. It's at this point. Kai Havertz needs to be signed. It's about time. It's been weeks. Come on. Freaking left back. We need a left back. We need a left back.
And a goalkeeper.
I'm okay with the center backs we have.
For another season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Really? For another season, I'm okay.
Because there's positions that Chelsea need to strengthen. Goalkeeper being the prime one. I agree that there's... Well, the fact that you got Ziyech coming in could add that. So if Havertz doesn't get signed, it wouldn't be the worst thing. If a goalkeeper doesn't get signed, tragic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goalkeeper and left back is what I think are the two most necessary position. I always said I want Havertz signed before the goalkeeper and left back because that would make our offense, I think, so much prettier. Definitely. And I would love to watch a scintillating offense in Chelsea again.
Scary.
Yeah, I agree. I would love to watch scintillating offense at Chelsea again. I miss Hazard. I miss Hazard so bad. When I was watching him against Man City, I was like, oh man, it's like it hurt my heart, but I was so happy at the same time to watch him play. He's just so dazzling, and I want to see dazzling offense, and I think the players we have can produce that. With Pulisic and, Werner and Ziyech and the other side, if you have Hudson-Odoi that finally decides he's going to stop being lazy piece of crap and work off the ball, he could be so good. He could be better than Jadon Sancho, I think. I really think that.
You think that?
I absolutely think that. I think he could be better than Jadon Sancho.
I don't think he could, but I think he could be a really good player. I think he could be crucial to Chelsea's season.
I think he could be better than Jadon Sancho. I think when they played in the FA Cup, Hudson-Odoi came out more times than Jadon Sancho. Like he came out, he won, I think, more accolades as a youth than Jadon Sancho. Now, granted, that doesn't mean crap. It's about what you do now.
Yeah.
And his work rate is just not good enough. I mean, I don't know, it's maybe because he plays in Premier League compared to Bundesliga, but his work rate is just not good enough.
But speaking of Jadon Sancho, my trash talk is also Glazers / Man United management, right? So, last year, or whatever, Solskjaer comes in, replaces Mourinho because we're not doing as well as we want to. We finished not top 4 or whatever. We finished a Europa League spot. Then this season, we didn't have Pogba and we had Rashford out for a bit, we had Martial out for a bit, then we got Bruno Fernandes, and then Pogba comes back, and then Rashford comes back, and Martial's back. We finished third. Well, we kind of stumbled into third, honestly. Like we literally stumbled into third.
Yeah. We stumbled into fourth, so yeah, I get it.
But I mean, seriously, okay. We had all those signings last summer. We had Bruno Fernandes this winter. This is the time to build. It's like you kind of made it to, like if you're climbing a mountain, right? There's the false summit or whatever. It's like we're chilling on a false summit. We're like, we got to this high point. We're like, oh yeah, we did great, but we need to go for the summit. And right now we're just chilling, like we've reached it, and we most definitely have not. The only thing I've heard about us signing is just like I think Mark Corrado and some guy from Serbia.
You signed a Norwegian too, striker.
Yeah, but we're signing all these 16-year-olds and 14-year-olds. Like, oh, that's great for the future. But we just finished third, and look at what all our rivals are signing. Chelsea signed like what 3 different people or whatever. City's already signed 2 different people. Liverpool has signed backups for the wing backs, and everybody's signing people. We're just like, oh yeah, we're good. We'll be all right. I know the window goes to October 5th or whatever it is, but we need to be signing people right now because if we want to actually challenge for the title or stay in top 4, we need to sign people. And we're not. I know we were going for Jadon Sancho. It's like same thing. If you're gonna pay the 120, pay that because I don't. If we
sign him, yeah, just
if we're gonna pay the 120, pay the 120 and be done with it. Because if you're gonna pay somebody, the longer they have in this unbelievably shortened preseason, the better. We are less than a month away from the Premier League starting.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
starts September 12th. I know we're not
3
starting.
weeks. Sorry, yeah.
We're not our game. I think we get 2 weeks off because we were in Europa League. But Premier League starts September 12th. What are you doing? Like dilly dallying around, like pitter patter, get out of here, like sign people now because all that's gonna happen is oh, we're not gonna get reinforcements. Gonna finish in 6th. Solskjaer probably get fired. Hire a new coach. Sign new people. Oh, then we'll finish Champions League spot, and then the whole cycle continues again. Where we don't sign any reinforcements to reach the top, and we just keep on going from 4th or 3rd to 6th, then back to 4th or 3rd to 6th.
I will say, I think you're absolutely right. I'm a firm believer that if United don't make any signings, you're not going to finish top 4 next season.
I don't see it because we need reinforcements.
Well, not only that, but OGS plays the same formation
because he doesn't trust the subs. He doesn't trust the subs.
Absolutely.
And I don't blame him.
If you don't trust the subs, you need to bring in people that you trust, people that you think can make the difference. And teams are going to catch on to that. You cannot just keep playing you cannot just keep relying on counter against the top 6. That's not any different than parking a bus that Mourinho does.
Yeah.
I mean, it really isn't, except that you think like it looks prettier, but at the same time, you're also more culpable on defensive end. And it's just a matter of, I think you need signings. And if Jadon Sancho, I don't think you should sign Jadon Sancho, but I definitely think you need to sign midfielder. And I definitely think you need to strengthen your defense.
It's just,
Your midfield consists of Matic and Brazilian Fred. I mean,
Pogba and McTominay.
Pogba is good.
Yeah,
McTominay is still too young, I think, to really.
He will get there. He will get there, but he's not.
He needs a couple more seasons, I think.
Yeah.
I think he needs a couple more seasons to be a important player in that midfield for United.
Yeah.
Matic is probably going to be okay next season. You hope he doesn't get hurt.
I don't think he goes the whole season.
Without Pogba, you're screwed.
Oh, yeah.
Pogba gets hurt often.
Well, I mean, last season was kind of he hasn't had that was I wouldn't say freak injury, but that injury is just I kind of read a little bit about it.
He always has freak injuries. But I mean, honestly, has he ever not been a single season that's been in Premier League and not been injured?
I think he has, hasn't he? Like the
I
first
don't
season
think
back,
so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Last season was the worst.
Yeah.
Great. Last season was the
he
worst.
was out a lot. Yeah.
But Tom, what's your trash talk?
I mean, we spoke about it already, but mine's just PSG. Just one specific thing. They're pussies. I
thought this was a children-friendly show, Tom.
I just hate players that dive. I hate players that fall down because they got flicked in the ankle and they're holding, screaming, and every one of their players did it tonight, I think, from what I saw. Even the big guys at the back, like Thiago and Marquinhos, went down like absolute children. And you're playing a Bayern Munich team that's not going to have that, and they didn't have
Yeah,
that.
no, they didn't.
But also, just I thought their game plan was wrong. I don't think they've got a very good manager. I don't think he knows how to play with the players he has. I don't think he's a good man manager. I think he gives Neymar far too much respect and lets him do whatever the hell he wants on and off the pitch. I mean, we speak about Roy Keane. If Roy Keane was a manager, you think Neymar would get away with what he does? No. I think managers just need to start dealing with players as players and not celebrities.
Yeah, as rock stars. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what it's turned into, unfortunately. Like Neymar has got so much influence that people are now like I don't even know what the PSG owner is. He only gave
Saudi
one person
Arabia, whatever.
Nazir something.
Yeah,
I'll
whatever.
call he
oil money. I'll call him oil money. So when oil money lost tonight, the only player he went up to and was like, "It's okay," was Neymar,
Oh my goodness.
and it was like, "What?"
It's clear who you care about.
Yeah, I mean, Neymar is quality, but stop crying. Like, you didn't play well. Go and shake Bayern Munich's hands because they deserved a handshake. What Mbappe did, he just held his head up and was like, "Yep, we lost. We got beaten by the better team. Fair play, lads. I'll deal with the emotions in my own time."
Mm.
And I don't know what his first name is. Paredes, the
Oh.
Argentine
Doesn't deserve one.
prick. Yeah, I wouldn't give him a medal. I wouldn't let him on the bus. Like Roy Keane said, absolute child the whole game. Didn't do one good thing, what I saw. And I was watching him pretty closely because I think he's highly overrated. But yeah, that's my trash talk. Let's jump into a whole lot of love.
Man, I don't even know who I'd want to give any love like this week. Because, I mean, this week has been mainly champion. Well, I guess we had the Europa League final, but
Lukaku for giving it to Sevilla.
Oh man.
Brato, do you have a whole
Yeah,
lot of
do you
love?
have give me a second.
So I think I do. My whole lot of love is to Manchester United and OGS.
Wow.
Wow. Where did that come from?
Well,
You're right. Where's Brato?
this came from the fact that you don't ever seem to disappoint me.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Oh boy.
I predicted.
Oh, get
I
out.
predicted this was gonna happen.
Get out.
And you surely delivered.
Oh,
So
get
my whole
out.
lot of love goes to OGS and Man United.
Oh, shoot.
The same old thing over and over again, never changing. And just keeping me an honest man. I appreciate you. Thank you. I do want to point out that my other, we talked about Lukaku for Inter. He scored a goal and equaled Ronaldo's R9's record. And this is my, I guess, instead of a whole lot of love, I guess I'm still going to give a whole lot of love to Ronaldo, R9, the original Ronaldo.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Look, people were comparing on the internet how Lukaku, people need to put respect on Lukaku's name because he just equaled Ronaldo's record for the most goal scorer for Inter since 97, 98. And you know what? Ronaldo did it against players that actually were fantastic legends. Maldini, Cannavaro, Zidane. That's completely different than what Lukaku is doing with Inter. For the record,
Yeah.
don't compare the two. It's a travesty to the footballing world that you're comparing Lukaku and Ronaldo R9. Absolutely. My whole lot of love. He's my favorite player of all time. So I actually, part of me took it a little personally. When I was growing up in Bosnia, all my friends were like Zidane because after the 98 World Cup, I've been a Ronaldo fan since 94 when I saw him for some reason I saw him being a sub, the Brazil Italy final. And I was just like, oh my God, for some reason, I just liked him since then. I don't know if it was like a guy that I was like, had a huge admiration for and wanted to be like him because he was a freaking stud even back then. But it's ridiculous. The man was a legend. He scored goals as an 18-year-old where Lukaku is not 18-year-old. And he did it against the best defenders of our generation. So a whole lot of love to Ronaldo, and my trash talk is to the internet. Don't compare the two. you're just embarrassing yourself.
Trash talk part 2.
You're just embarrassing yourself, I think. But yeah, my other whole lot of love is to OGS and United. I'm still happy that you didn't make the final and didn't get a chance to
That
win.
doesn't sound like a lot of love. That sounds like
So-
a veiled trash talk.
It sounds like a
Trash
Chelsea
talk
fan.
part
It's more like
Yeah.
it's more like a backhanded whole lot of love.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
it's
like
like
a,
you
oh.
don't seem to disappoint me, and I lavish in your disappointment. So
Steve-O.
So my whole lot of love is gonna be nostalgic also, because I talked yesterday about how Neymar and Ronaldinho are kind of the same category, but Ronaldinho just levels above. And just watching Neymar again today is just a reminder of, dude, we do not have anybody like Ronaldinho right now in the game.
No,
Like,
we've never had
nobody.
anyone like we'll never have again.
Ronaldinho would just kind of go on the field and like, you know what? I feel like doing a sombrero over here. I feel like nutmegging you right now. You know what? There's 3 of you right here, but I'm just gonna, do some quick stuff, dribble around you, and should I score or should I just dance around a little bit? I'll score. Okay, oh, yeah, that was great, wasn't it? And they're just like laugh about it.
Oh, I
and
love
there's
him.
nobody like that right now. It is amazing that we have Messi and Ronaldo, our CR7 right now. That is amazing, but there's nobody like Ronaldinho right now in the game, and I really miss that.
Ronaldo used to be like that when he was younger. He had so much flair when he was playing.
He had
Not-
flair, but not
yeah,
Ronaldinho.
not Ronaldinho.
yeah, not
flair.
Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
There's nobody in Ronaldinho's
No,
level
yeah, I
right now.
agree with
Neymar
that.
is the closest we've ever seen,
But he's just
but he's still not Ronaldinho level.
like I was saying earlier today. He's already tarnished his reputation with the World Cup and with the whole transfer saga between Barcelona and PSG, where you can't really love him. I mean, I know there's Neymar supporters out there, but not in the same level as Ronaldinho. Not in the same way that Ronaldinho is respected and loved by people. Not Neymar is nowhere in the same category. Just everybody loved Ronaldinho. Just Ronaldinho would come in, just turn up, and like, wow, I know I just beat our team, but I was just entertained. You don't
He's
have
my
that
favorite
right
player
now.
of all time, Ronaldinho.
He would ride tackles, man. Like he would ride tackles, just dribble past people, and just wow, that was awesome. That was amazing.
And he never dove. You know,
Oh,
it's like
ever.
he didn't
South
dive.
American soccer gets such a bad stigma because of all the diving that they do and
Yeah.
over exaggeration. He was not like that.
He was
No.
strong.
He
yeah.
was like
He just
the-
wanted to play.
He was
He wanted to
exactly.
play.
He's kind of like the last of that Brazilian old generation because there was other Brazilians that didn't like Ronaldo.
Yeah, he
Didn't
was
really
strong.
dive. Yeah, Ronaldo didn't really dive. Cafu was a
Rivaldo,
beast.
No, wait,
Rivaldo.
Rivaldo dove. Are you kidding me? Remember when he got hit in the face?
Oh no, yeah, I remember
Hit
that. Yeah,
in the
yeah,
face.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Leonardo
except for-
Leonardo
yeah.
didn't really dove. Like Denelson, they were, they may have dove, but it's gotten way out of control
Yeah.
in today's times. And I think that Ronaldinho was the last of that old school Brazilian bonito football. Bonito or bonito?
Droga Benito.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, this is going to be so underwhelming compared to your guys. But my whole lot of love goes to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
Oh,
The new
the
Tottenham
new Tottenham
signing.
signing.
Because I just think he's what Tottenham need. I think he's selfless. I think he doesn't care if he looks good. And we've had a really good history of signing players from Southampton and then going on to be legends. Gareth Bale and Yarma. I mean, Luke Shaw, he's not Tottenham, but he came from Southampton. Southampton seems to have these talents that when they
Van
take the step up,
Van Dijk came from
Van
Southampton.
Dijk came
too,
from Southampton. Tottenham have had so many players. Toby Alderweireld came from Southampton.
Oh,
Gazzaniga, he's not the best goalkeeper, but he came from Southampton. So we played a friendly game yesterday for all you Spurs fans. I know you probably know, but for you guys, played at Ipswich Town. We won 3-0. We played a really strong starting 11 in the first half. All of our goals came in the first half. We had no Harry Kane. We had no Lo Celso. We had no Ndombele. They're still on holiday. So we played like Ryan Sessegnon, Jedson Fernandez, Juan Foyth played at centre back. And he didn't have a very good game. But he just offered that little bit of stability we need in that CDM role that we haven't had since Moussa Dembele, Wanyama when he played well. And he just tidied up. And that's the best thing I can say about him. It's not like he's going to come and score 20 goals a season. it's not like he's going to come and light the world on fire. He just tidies up.
Yeah.
He's there in front of the defense to do the hard graft.
Yeah, you need that player that does the dirty work.
And Sissoko's getting on now. He's 31, I think.
You think Højbjerg's gonna play CAM?
No, he'll play
no
CDM.
CDM?
Yeah, and Lo Celso play in front of him. Maybe I hope they play on Ndombele in front of him as well, and I hope they play a 4-1, 4-1, is it? Yeah, 4-1-4-1.
That adds up.
And
Yeah.
I think Lo Celso and Ndombele will play that kind of shared centre attacking midfield role. And I hope they just play Højbjerg as just in front of the defence, because he does that. He does the hard grafting that a CDM does, and him and Sissoko can trade places. I think it's a great signing, and I had some things to say when we signed him, and I was like, why are we going for Højbjerg? Why can't we go for Dybala again? But we needed to strengthen that position. I think Mourinho's done a great job.
Who else has been linked with Spurs? I mean, who do you
Gareth
want to
Bale.
see? Who do you want to
Gareth
see?
Bale.
I want to see some defenders, because I think
You lost talent.
Aurier is linked with AC Milan and now a German team, I think.
Wow.
So I'd like to see him go, to be quite honest. But our youth isn't quite at the developed stage that other teams are. Like Chelsea have a fantastic youth, Manchester United, fantastic youth.
Yeah.
We don't really have that. And it like the Ipswich game, second half, we made a whole new starting 11 basically, and all of our youth team, and they look fine. Couple of
But against
promising prospects.
Ipswich.
But still, like
I mean,
When
it's a
you've
legit
got-
point.
Yeah, it is Ipswich.
yeah, but like there was no one that really shone, and Greenwood has been playing, against top teams.
Yeah.
Billy Gilmore has been playing against top teams. Phil Foden, the same thing. We don't have that youth player, and I think is a problem.
It's kind of worrying that it's the end of August. The season starts September 12th, and transfer window is open till October 5th.
Yeah. We can definitely, I mean, it is worrying, but I think that's something we should definitely touch on next week. Just touch on like how weird it is that the transfer window is going to be going into the season, and how late the season is starting, how that will kind of affect things, and how teams are going to be dealing with that. I think like if we start talking about that right now, we're going to go for another 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But I'll just close. But just thanks for tuning in, though. Don't forget, we are on Spotify, iTunes. So go ahead and subscribe on there and listen on there. We are also on YouTube. So if you want to see our lovely faces or make fun of our ugly faces, subscribe on there and watch us. Don't forget to subscribe and refer us to your friends and give us some reviews. And just let us know what's up. Tell us what you think about, why PSG didn't win the game. What could they have done better?
If we get 100 reviews, I think that we should paint our bodies based on our team colors.
I'd
If we
be
get
up for that.
If we get 100, we'll paint Brato's buddy.
Steve-O's is gonna go. It looks so good in red. He's gonna go with the red devil.
Oh my goodness! But once again, it's me, Steve-O, Brato, and Tom, and yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
See you next time.
Later.